What would it take for you to kill a man? Excuse me? I asked, taken off guard. A stranger in an expensive-looking suit sat across from me at the bus stop. What would it take for you to kill a man? He repeated. Why are you asking me this? I asked, increasingly unsettled. He leaned back against the bench casually, as if he were simply asking for the time. Because I want to know, David, he said, his face expressionless. How do you know my name? I asked, a chill running through me. This was getting creepy. Who are you? The stranger leaned forward and looked me in the eye. His stare was cold and unwavering. I know everything about you, David, he said, not offering his own name. I know that you are drowning in student loans, that you had to sell your car, that you live from one meager paycheck to the next. He leaned back and looked away. I want to know what it would take for you to kill a man, he finished. This guy was seriously freaking me out, and I wanted to run or call the police. But I was afraid of what he might do. He was obviously some kind of psychopath. I decided to humor him carefully until the bus came, just in case. Why would I ever kill someone? I asked. Aside from self-defense, I don't see how that could ever be worth it. You have a gun, and someone is kneeling in front of you, he said. What if pulling the trigger would save 1,000,000 lives? Would you do it? A psychopathic philosopher? So, the trolley problem? I asked cautiously. Switching the tracks to save 1,000,000 people by sacrificing one? The stranger waved a dismissive hand. You could think about it that way, he said, but it doesn't necessarily have to be 1,000,000 people. It could be for anything. Power, money, even the cure for cancer. I'd never liked the trolley problem. It was always an impossible choice for me. I wouldn't be able to decide, I said, shrugging. Luckily, I'll never have to. He leaned forward again. But what if you do, he said. What if I have the power to make it happen? This guy is insane, I thought. You have the power? I asked, exasperated. If so, why not do it yourself? Why would you make a random person kill someone to cure cancer? I can't do it myself, he replied. I'm unable to directly interfere. I can only act when someone of their own free will, and by their own hand, provides me with the soul to do so. I leaned back and crossed my arms. Prove it, I said. Prove that you have the power to do this. Like I said, I'm unable to act, he said. However, I can tell you that when you were 10 years old, you found a frog in a secluded field. You named him Jim. You would return weekly to see him, until one day he was no longer there. You had a crush on Jenny in high school, he continued. You still think about her. You want to call her, but keep putting it off. You're planning to visit your brother's grave tomorrow, he said. 2 days ago, a conversation with a coworker reminded you of him. You are going to buy flowers later today, from the florist on 7th Avenue. Is this satisfactory? The stranger asked. I sat there, frozen in shock. I had never told anyone about any of that. Ever. No one knew but me. It was impossible. Undeniable proof was staring me in the face. There was no other way he could have known. It took me a moment to find my voice. Okay, I said shakily. So you need me to kill someone? Kill one person to save others? What you kill for is up to you, he said. You can receive anything you wish. The stranger stood up. You have 20 minutes to decide, he said, looking down at me. You will never have this opportunity again. Think carefully. He turned and pointed. In that alley where I am pointing, he said, you will find a man. I turned to look at the alley. It was right next to the bus stop. He continued, you will also find a gun. State your desire loudly and clearly before pulling the trigger. He lowered his hand and turned to leave. Decide what you would kill for. Decide the worth of a life. The stranger started walking away. Remember, 20 minutes, he said, his voice fading. Will you pull the trigger? I looked at my watch, then slumped back on the bench, overwhelmed. What should I do? I thought. Was there actually a man in that alley? A man who would live or die depending on my decision. What is the worth of a life? Was it more lives? I could save the unsavable, cure the incurable, find the cure for cancer, fix climate change, discover the secret to immortality. A world without suffering. Just one life lost to save countless others. What about money? I could be rich. Never work another day in my life. Debt erased. No longer struggling, barely making enough to survive. A life of unparalleled luxury for one pull of the trigger. Power? I could rule nations. Change the course of history. Every law, every war, every scientific pursuit, guided by my hand. No one could stop me. Unmatched potential, achieved by removing another's. My thoughts were racing. What about the person I would kill? Did they have a family? Friends? Were they like me, with their own hopes and dreams? Their entire life gone with one bullet. It would be my fault. It would be my decision that they should die. Their innocent blood would be on my hands forever. 15 minutes had passed. Do the ends justify the means? Should I kill them? Or do the means justify the ends? Should I let them live? I kept looking at the alley. I had never been so stressed in my entire life. I could barely think. I had to decide. I had to decide now. I jumped up and started walking toward the alley. There was no choice. I had to do this. The world would be a better place in exchange for one single life. My steps carried me closer. It had to be done. I would make sure they were remembered forever as a hero. Someone who saved the world. Just do it. Keep walking. My heart was aching, tearing itself apart. Get there. Pull the trigger. My legs were so heavy. End a life. I struggled to keep moving. I was almost there. I have to. 10 feet from the alley, my legs gave out. I fell to my knees. Tears rolled down my face. I couldn't breathe. I looked down at my hands. They were blurry, shaking uncontrollably. It was too much. I can't do it, I whispered, sobbing. I can't do it. I couldn't kill someone. Someone innocent, for a world they would never see. My decision was made. I would not pull the trigger. Trying to control my trembling hands, I pulled out my phone and called the police. It was clear to me now. It couldn't be measured. The worth of a life. Soon after, the police arrived. They couldn't find the stranger I had been talking to. They did, however, find someone in the alley. Someone holding a gun, waiting for me.